All right, and we're off. We've got December 7th here. So, first week, we talk strategy. So, I kind of started this conversation on the Dominator call this morning, kind of talking some year end strategy, some of the stuff that I typically do every year, looking at what I did well, what I didn't do well, what I spent my time on, what I should have spent my time on. And also traffic channels. What traffic channels did I use to create more income, more sales, and all that kind of stuff? And also thinking about traffic channels that I didn't use that I should, and really kind of going into next year with more of a game plan on increasing, getting better. As you guys know, I work with a lot of those manufacturers. Those are my favorite customers. They have been for many years, and they kind of give me a pulse of the economy. Like back in the 90s when I did commercial photography, I knew what kind of a year it was by roughly October. They would go into catalog season, and I knew how much they were spending to advertise in October, November, December. And then I also knew going into January what their new budgets were, because they blow out the old budget every time at the end of the year. They get rid of it, and then I can see what the new budget is for the following year. So when those budgets diminish, there's a shitty year coming. And it was right on track. I mean, the pulse of that was so right on the money. Every year I could depend on it. I knew what the following year was going to do based on those budgets from those companies. And what I'm seeing right now, and I'm talking to several, I have an appointment this afternoon with one of my oldest customers, and he puts in spray booths, and he does air quality stuff for businesses in California, which is pretty big. That's a pretty big business. And he said he has literally been dying on the vine for the last 4 or 5 years. And he said now it's like the floodgates are open. So I think we're probably headed for pretty good times ahead. At least in 2018, we'll see what happens at the end of that year. But at all indicators from my manufacturers and what's going on, what I'm seeing, I think we got some good times ahead. So that's when you want to make hay when the sun shines. When there's opportunity, that's when you get in, and that's when you can do your damage. Customer acquisition is huge. Getting customers, once you get them, keeping them shouldn't be a problem if you treat them right, you provide good service, give them good stuff, give them what they want. But the customer acquisition, that's where you want to spend a lot of your efforts. That's where marketing comes in. Creating good marketing campaigns is all about customer acquisition. The campaign can go on, the deeper it goes. Like you can have a campaign that runs and trickles affiliate offers onto customers after you've acquired them. But the customer acquisition, that really is the key. That's the cornerstone. That's where it all starts. And taking people from the prospect level and turning them into the customer, that really is the key. And that's what your marketing's all about. That's why your message has to be right. That's why you got to figure out who they are to create that message, and then figuring out where they are and bringing your message to them where they are. That's the traffic portion. So from a strategy standpoint, what we want to do and at year end is look at how we've performed over the last year. Look at what we did, what we didn't do, what we should have done, and make changes so next year isn't a repeat. You never want to repeat. Even if you have a great year, you don't want to repeat that. You want to have a better year. You want to have a greater year. You know, great is good, but greater is better. So no matter how good your year was, I always recommend that you do this kind of year end and do it before the year end so you can prepare. And, you know, a lot of us have the last couple of weeks of this month free. You know, a lot of businesses shut down, a lot of things, you know, come to a standstill. And what that does, that like gives you 2 weeks or at least a week. You know, a lot of stuff stops between New Year's or Christmas and New Year's. So take advantage of that. Don't just skim. Don't just like, you know, say, oh, this is cool, I got a week off, I'm gonna, you know, business owners don't do that. Entrepreneurs don't do that. They don't have downtime. They, you know, they have downtime when they're sleeping. So plan and do whatever you can, you know, during the next couple of weeks till the end of the year to prepare for a better year next year. You know, if you had a really bad year, that's okay. You know, don't dwell on that. Just make next year better. So spend the next couple of weeks planning how you're going to do that, putting anything in place that you can to make that happen. So again, look at what you did. One thing too that I like to look at is breaking everything down into what type of operation is it in the business. And just like ACT, what do I ask the first thing in ACT? What's the most important thing? What's your most profitable market, right? That's the first step in ACT. Well, in business, it's also the first step. What's the most important thing in any business? It's income generation. If you don't have income generation, the rest of it doesn't matter. You can have the best product in the world, you can have the best processes in the world, you can have a great billing system, you can have great customer service, you can have a team trained and in place, and everything on the back end is absolutely awesome and solid. But if you don't have income generating things on the front end of that business, guess what? It's dead. It's going to fail. It's going to go nowhere. Because all that stuff I just mentioned, all that stuff costs money. You know, you don't have a team that's just sitting there and, you know, hoping to get paid. You've got to make sure that the doors stay open, the lights stay on, employees get paid. That's income generation. That is first and foremost, that you've got that on the front end. So that's client acquisition. That's where, you know, the ACT program comes in. That's the importance of that, making sure that you've got a system to take prospects, educate them, create demand and desire, and get them to purchase. Changing that relationship from browser to buyer. That's conversion. You know, there's a ton of other stuff that you can do on the back end to make more and more profit. Those are all stackers. Those are multipliers. But to have a multiplier, you cannot multiply against zero. So you've got to have a way to do client acquisition. And I see the brightness here keeps coming in and out. It's the wind is blowing all my trees around out here. It's crazy windy. We even had a fire in Huntington Beach right up the street from me. This morning I heard all these fire trucks, and I look out and there's all this smoke in the sky, and then I found out later there's a park right up the street at Beach Boulevard, and the park somehow got on fire, and it went up the hill and lit a couple of the commercial buildings on fire. So crazy stuff. The wind is just brutal. It has been for the last 48 hours. Hoping that stops. So anyway, that's why the light is coming in and out. It's all my trees blowing around over there. So anyway, back to the point. Income generation, anything that you can do in your business to generate income should be something that you want to do more of next year. Whether that be follow-up, whether it be lead generation, whether it be appointment setting, anything that you can do to close more business, close more sales. If it's traffic sources, no problem. You just need more of them. You know, if you're buying traffic and it's converting and you're making money, how can you scale it? How can you do more of that? So the way you can do more, sometimes you can't buy more traffic. There's some cases, like some of you have such small niches that you might be buying all of the traffic that's available in a particular traffic channel. That's okay, just move to another traffic channel. You know, there's not just one traffic channel, there's lots of them. And in January, I work with a company called Steelhouse. And Steelhouse traditionally has only been for large companies. They've only taken on companies that have a mass volume of traffic and a mass number of sales, because they do retargeting, and they do it in a very, very cool way. They collect a lot of data using one pixel, and they're able to extrapolate all kinds of data about the user, like what pages they went to, what they were interested in. Like, let's say you had an e-commerce store and you had 50,000 parts. It would know which parts they looked at, and it could dynamically retarget them based on those parts. So, like, let's say you had an auto store and you sold Ford parts and Chevy parts and Dodge parts. Now, your ad wouldn't be very effective if the owner of the car was a Ford car, and you start sending them Dodge ads. Wouldn't be very effective, would it? Wouldn't be in alignment at all with ACT. So that's what these guys do. They send out the retargeting ads based exactly on what the person looked at and different criteria. It's very effective. All of the customers that I've put into the system, I think I've got 6 in the system now. They're all larger customers that do a pretty good volume of sales and a volume of traffic, and they have really done well for them. The other thing is Steelhouse in January is coming online with a prospecting tool that is able to go out and actually prospect and generate leads instead of just doing retargeting. Retargeting is great, but that's based on your own traffic. That's based on you already generating those leads and getting traffic to your site. What they're going to offer now is traffic generation, lead generation. And they're really, really good at what they do. And one of the things that I really like about them is in their retargeting, they don't just retarget Facebook. They don't just retarget Google. They have a massive network, and they retarget everything based on what works. Like, for instance, they will run your retargeting campaign out to the entire network. So you'll be seen on Facebook, you'll be seen on Google, and you'll be seen on a massive display network like CNN, all the news sites, you know, any site out there that's getting traffic, that's running banner ads, they will retarget you on all of those platforms together collectively. The next thing they do is every hour they will adjust the placement of your ads based on performance. So think about that. In Facebook, if you had to do that on your own, you'd be monitoring, looking at, calculating, and making adjustments to your Facebook ads on the hour. Imagine how that would ruin your day if you had to do that. So they do that all automatically on the hour. They're also going to do the same thing for prospecting. So when you got your budget in there, they are looking after it like it was their own. So it's a really cool platform. The other cool thing about it, I said in the beginning here that they were only for big companies. One of the things that they're doing, like for instance, you had to have, to get into them, you had to be spending at least $5,000 a month in retargeting. you had to have at least 20 to 50,000 average visitors on your site per week. So you had to have a massive amount of traffic, and you had to have a pretty good sized budget to even be in their realm. And like I said, I've only got 6 customers in using them, and a lot of that has to do with criteria. A lot of the customers aren't that big. And the other thing is, 3 of those 6, I actually got them to bend the rules so they could put smaller customers in and actually build them up. And they did exactly that. So one of the cool things that they're doing right now is they're creating a self-service platform, and they're removing all the restrictions. So you could literally go in there. In January, I'm going to be able to open this up to you guys. If you want to use Steelhouse, you'll be able to do it with a budget of like $50 a month if you wanted to, $100 a month if you wanted access to that platform. And I'm going to be able to get access for all of you guys to do that. So, yeah, I mean, this is a phenomenal opportunity. This is like, ad agencies would drool over getting access to this stuff. And that's really coming up. That's in January. I'm really excited. I actually put the brakes on running any traffic till I can get a hold of it myself. So January's coming real soon, and that's what I'm going to use. I'm going to use that platform to fuel it. Here's the other really cool thing about it. It has an ad builder built right into it. So they have literally thousands of ads that are already made that big companies have spent a bunch of money building, and you can take them and edit them and make them your own. They all run off Getty Images, so they pay the Getty Image license. This is included in it's yours for the using when you're on the platform. So you can use any Getty image for your ad, and you can also use stock video. They will create video ads for you, all included in the program. So I don't know if you guys get that, but that's not just a traffic channel. This is a platform channel. This is across all forms of traffic, and every hour it deciphers what is the best traffic channel for you, and it adjusts your budget accordingly. So let's say you went in and started small and you wanted to spend $100 a month. It's going to spread it out, so it's not going to blow your budget in one day. It's going to spread it out. It's going to use machine learning. It's got algorithms built in based on some of the biggest companies on the planet that have funded this thing. And it will figure out what your best traffic sources are. This is amazing. This is a phenomenal opportunity. So that's something, I've worked pretty hard strong-arming these guys into this, and I think I was probably instrumental in helping get this to even be available to smaller companies. So,
hey John, can I ask you a question?
Sure.
What would our infrastructure look like to take advantage of this? What would we need in order to maximize this opportunity?
It is really easy. Let me see. Give me a minute here. Let me see if I can get in, and I'll show you what it looks like.
So do we pay a membership to be on the platform, or what, John? How does that work?
No, the only thing you pay is your ad spend.
Wow.
Yeah, there's no cost to this. I'm going to get you guys like free sign up.
Oh my goodness.
You can sign up for free. If you wanted to, you could just go in and build your ads and use the ads for whatever you want. So it really is an awesome deal. I'm just seeing if I can figure out what my login is here. And
I can let you know, John, the one client we have on it
yeah,
did amazing last month.
yeah, it's doing well for them. You know what? I found out also that Strictly Diesel is set up with a Pixel. I don't know if they're using it or not, but they already have a Pixel installed.
I will have to ask them. I don't know.
Because I was meeting with Neville from there the other day, and I had him take a look at it, and he said they already have a Pixel installed.
Okay.
So
We'll follow up on that.
Yeah, he was going to check that out and get some info back for us.
Okay, good to know.
Okay, I'm almost there. Give me just a second. This is a different login than what you would normally see. This is the one that you guys are going to get access to, and it's like super simple. It's like the dummies version. All right, so I'm going to do a screen share here, so you guys should be able to see it. So there's 5 pieces to it. It is so simple. This is it. This is basically your control panel. The Creative Suite, if you go there, that's where you build your ad. The Facebook ads, this is where you just connect it to Facebook. Once you connect Facebook to this, then you don't have to go into Facebook. You don't have to go into the ad manager anymore. I know you guys know how complicated the ad manager is. This takes over and does all that for you.
Wow.
So all you literally do here is just connect Facebook to this, and then it manages your Facebook ads right through here. You go in here, you set your budget and your scheduling. Like, let's say you want to start running your ads the first of next month. That would be your start date. You say, budget, I want to run $100 a month. I want to run $500 a month. Your billing, you put your credit card info in here. And then the Steelhouse Pixel. And this gives you 1 pixel you drop on all pages. Basically, you put this on everything. You put it on, if you're running ClickFunnels, you drop it in the pixel area, so it's on all your ClickFunnel pages. You put it on your website. If you're running WordPress, you would put it in the header or the footer, so it's on all pages. If you're running a commerce store, again, you put it in the header or the footer, so it's on all pages. It picks up everything it needs to know. It knows, it intuitively knows conversions. It also knows numbers. Like if, let's say, and again, I don't know how it does this. It's amazing what it does. I don't know the mechanics behind it of how it does what it does, but it picks up all of your revenue numbers. Like you could literally have a store that's selling 1,000 different items, and it's going to know what's getting sold. It's going to know how much revenue is being generated, and it's going to know where it came from. It tracks the sources, so it'll know if a conversion comes through Facebook versus a conversion comes out of Google versus a conversion comes out of the display network. And here's the other thing. If, let's say it comes out of the display network. For you guys that don't know what that means, the display network is millions of websites out there that will allow third parties to put banners on their site and trade for money. So they basically, they put a little piece of code on their site. Now, a third-party company manages that for them, places the ads. When the ads get clicked, they charge the customer, and you get a portion of that as the webmaster. So that's the display network. And again, there's millions of sites out there. Like if you go to almost any major entertainment site or news site, like say you go to CNN, you're going to see banners there. You're going to see ads. those ads are part of the display network because that site is part of the display network. There's literally millions of those sites that are in the display network. Now, the cool thing with Steelhouse is it will tell you if people are buying off of CNN. It'll tell you if they're buying off some little niche site. If they are, if you look in your stats and you see, hey, I got 5 sales from abc.com from their referrals, their traffic is a perfect match. So I would reach out to abc.com and I would ask that webmaster or that business owner, hey, I would like to buy a display ad outside the network. I want you to display only my ad, and negotiate that deal directly with the webmaster. And they will do that. They are in the business of selling ads. So if they can sell an ad to you, they will make more money off of that than they will off the display network. And it's cheaper for you because you're only buying one place. You're not buying ads on 50,000 sites. You use the technology behind Steelhouse to sift through the 50,000 sites and tell you which site you should be buying those ads on. And again, it does this on the hour. It reanalyzes the entire system every hour to tell you what's best, and it makes adjustments accordingly to that. So this is a powerhouse. And again, this is what it will look like for you. This is exactly what your control panel will look like. So you'll go into the Creative Suite. Here's a tab for the Creative Suite up here. You've got your dashboard over here. So these are the first things you do to set up. So you create your ad, you connect your Facebook, you set your budget and scheduling, you set your credit card information, and you get your pixel and you install it. That's it. Once you do these 5 steps, you are set, ready to go. If you want to create more creatives, you can go over to the Creatives tab, and here's some of the ads. You can use any of these ads, basically, and you can just edit them. You edit it in the ad builder. If you want to, let's say you want a different image, you just edit that in the ad builder. You can go out on the Getty Images. You can type a search for whatever type of photograph you're looking for, and you can use it at no cost. This is a phenomenal tool right here, this ad builder. They literally have thousands of different ads. These ads convert. These ads were made by people that know what they're doing. They convert. You can use them. You can search in here for just about anything you want. On the dashboard, mine is pending because I haven't set up all my details in here yet, but it'll show you your trends. It'll give you access to all of your stuff, your Facebook ads, your budget, your pixel, everything's right there in the dashboard. If you go to reporting, mine's not going to show anything here yet, but it'll show you total clicks, total conversions. You can actually view your conversions. It'll show you conversion rate. These are all ROI settings. This is the performance metrics. So it'll show you what a click costs for a CPA, a cost per acquisition, your total cost per acquisition. It'll show you down here your click rate, your click revenue, total revenue. This is total how much your cart has brought in. So it's pretty powerful stuff here. And that's pretty much it. It's really, really simple. Let's see. Oh, that's alerts. So that's it. You guys are going to get access to this, and there's going to be another campaign added to this for prospecting. So right now, currently, the way this sits, this is just for retargeting. But come January, they're going to be adding a module to this for prospecting, and that's what I'm most excited about. So very cool stuff. Do you guys have any questions about this particular thing? This from a strategy point of view, this is the most effective strategic thing I could find in traffic. And I know you guys are getting close to that. So moving into 2018, I'm going to give you nuclear war here. So pretty cool stuff.
So it sounds like it would be a good idea to have the ads ready to go in January as soon as they open the doors.
Yes. Yeah. In fact, I can give you guys access to sign up right now, and you can get into here and you can start building your ads.
How do we decide what kind of ads we want to target first? So display ads or?
Well, what you want to do when you create the ad, the display, it will actually create multiple sizes of the same ad.
Okay.
So it'll create ads for the different sizes that go into Facebook. It'll create the different sizes that'll go into the display network and all that. Basically what you're doing is you're designing the ad, and then it will come out in a bunch of different formats.
Okay.
Like if you do a video ad, there's a bunch of different video formats as well for different sites. So it'll help you create all of those. So if you've got images, like let's say you've got images that people are already familiar with, like your logos and things, you can import those images into the ad builder, and it will have your images, your backgrounds. If you've got color schemes and things that you're already using, you can actually bring that in and import those. So it's pretty cool stuff.
John, we just did a ad review yesterday, actually. And what I found out is you actually have to make each one of those size of ads. There's 5 different sizes, but you can copy and paste it through. But you actually have to physically make each ad.
Okay.
So
yeah.
it doesn't automatically populate them for you like we thought.
Okay.
So we had one size going, and they said no, you physically have to make all 5 of them, but they're all lined up there. So all you got to do is copy and paste, pretty much.
Yeah, they're very easy to make though with the ad builder.
Yeah, they look pretty easy.
Yeah, so basically once you create one, you're creating really a theme for the ad. So you've got a background, you've got a font style, you've got colors, all that stuff. So when you move to the next one for a different size, let's say you've got a vertical rectangle, and then you want to go to a horizontal rectangle. You really just, you're copying that stuff over to the next ad. And that way they all look the same. And the ads are all stretchable. You can crop them, you can stretch them, all that kind of stuff. So really, really cool, really simple to use. So what I will do, I will just send out a link for all of you guys that are in the program if you want to sign up, and you can start playing with that, because that's another one of those things, if you've got downtime between Christmas and New Year's, this might be a cool thing for you to play with and create your ads and get your campaign set up. And then when the prospecting tool comes out, it should just be added to the dashboard and you'll be ready to go.
Awesome.
So you'll have your ads, you'll have everything set up. And again, it's not just Facebook. This is across all platforms. This is really, really powerful. So great stuff. I have, one of my older clients, they do a snoring thing where it's some kind of an apparatus if you have sleep apnea, so you don't have to have the machine. And they've increased sales incredibly using this platform. They've been at it for years, and they thought things were as good as they could get. And when they had Steelhouse dial them in, now they know what good looks like. So,
wow.
So John, are they is their ad going specifically to that device, or are they doing some kind of an educational video that the ad is directing people to?
Well, what they're doing using the Steelhouse technology, they are using it to follow up with people that already saw the device on their site. So depending on what page they landed on, they'll dynamically get retargeted with an ad that totally makes sense to what they're doing.
So how did they get to their website to begin with?
Because see, they're running ads currently to different landing pages. So for sleep apnea, they have different markets. You know, just like ACT, they have segments. So if they had a segment for athletes, and what's important to an athlete about a good night's sleep is different than, let's say, a single mom, right? Different conversation. So the Steelhouse Pixel being on the page for athletes knows that people came to that page. So it will retarget those visitors with an ad that matches the performance ad. So however they came in, they hit the landing page, they're retargeted with the same thing.
Where are they retargeted to?
They're retargeted back to wherever you decide to send them to. So you can say, okay, you can go in and basically designate anybody that has this interest goes to this landing page.
An educational, like an educational landing page for an athlete, or the sales page?
Well,
Like
it depends. It would just totally depend on how you got them in. Like you might have already brought them into an educational page. So let's say you brought them in, you educated them, and they didn't buy. Maybe they didn't buy because they didn't have their credit card handy. You know, maybe they didn't have their wallet. Maybe they were, you know, out by the pool when they did that. So they wanted it, they didn't buy it, and then 10 minutes later they forgot about it. But later this evening they go on and they're looking at CNN and boom, there it is. Now they got the credit card. They're like, oh, okay. So right back to the sales page.
Oh, okay.
So, and you have total control to set those campaigns up however you want.
Oh.
So basically, however you're bringing them in, you want to follow through. The ad campaign really is a follow through to customer acquisition. So depending on how you brought them in, what you send them to next, and then their action depends on how you're going to do it. Like let's say they go through and they buy. Do you want to retarget them to try and sell them? No. You don't want your budget to be wasted. The Steelhouse Pixel knows that, and it won't waste your budget.
Would it send them to maybe another item you have once they sell or once they purchase?
It could, yeah. And again, you have total flexibility to set the campaign up however you want. You can say, hey, if they bought, kill the campaign. Don't waste my budget trying to sell to them again because they already bought. Now, let's say they buy a consumable item from you. Like let's say you're selling them a supplement and you've sold them a 30-day supply. Guess what? 28 days from now, you might want to be retargeting them. I bet your bottle's about empty. Might be time to reorder. So again, total flexibility to set the accounts up to make sense to your business.
Wow.
So really, really cool stuff here. And so much easier now than it ever has been before. Because for you to set up that kind of a campaign inside Facebook, good luck with that. You know, good luck using the Facebook pixel to try and figure that stuff out. That's a little beyond my capabilities. And even Anthony would probably not have the best of times getting that campaign set up. So that's where we have a real solution now. And this is an enterprise level solution. You know, this is not typically available to small companies. And you guys are going to get access to this. So That's
Thank you.
that's some pretty cool stuff.
Is your middle name John the Negotiator Limbacher?
I negotiate the shit out of stuff.
Okay, that's a little bit too long for a middle name. John, I negotiate the shit out of things, Limbacher. I'd love to start it on one side of the business card and go around to the back.
Well, we'll turn it into an acronym so not everybody knows. Just those that need to know.
Yeah. Well, thanks for doing that, John. That's a mighty fine negotiating there, partner.
But yeah, I've been playing around with the Steelhouse guys now for almost a year. And it was really tough to get them to take on certain clients because they weren't quite ready. But I knew I wanted them. And after I got the first one in, seeing the results, it's like, okay, I want more. I want more.
Awesome.
And they want more too. They want more clients. So they wanted access to my customer list, and I wanted access to their software for some of my customers that really needed it. So I didn't just hand over my whole customer list. I held them back to negotiate. You know, I had them put in customers on the lower level first before I gave them the big ones. And then every time I would give them a big one, then they'd really want more. And so would I. So I've used every ounce of leverage I could come up with to negotiate into this position and get access for you guys first, especially on this they call it Premier. And Premier, they're going to be releasing out to to the smaller business owners.
Are you putting ACT on through this, John?
What do you mean? I'm going to be running my ACT program using this. Like when I set up my marketing campaign to sell ACT,
yeah.
In January, I'm going to be using the prospecting through Steelhouse. Absolutely. I can't wait. I wish it was available now. I'd be using it right now if it was. Unfortunately, I don't have enough traffic through it because I haven't been running ads, so I can't really take full advantage of the retargeting. So I decided just to kind of put it on hold. I'm going to go in, create my ads, get everything set up here in the next couple of weeks. And then, in January when it's ready, I'm going to be ready. And again, that's another thing that I'm doing for my own business here at the end of the year to make 2018 better than 2017.
Where would you say that people need to be for those of us that are starting new programs? What would you say the bare minimum should be where we're at to be prepared for this?
You mean budget-wise?
Well, budget and talking strategy, like, if we have our lead magnet set, like I know I have to get my website, up to snuff. That's got to get done.
Okay.
And I have my pieces ready.
Okay, I get your question. So first of all, you don't have to have your website up and done.
Okay.
What you need to have your landing page up and done for your ad to drive traffic to a landing page. You do not have to have a complete website built to make money. Okay, like I have another commercial customer that I'm doing the ACT program for as a commercial business, a commercial project, and they probably have 4 or 5, maybe 6 different segments that we're going to be creating marketing campaigns for each one of them. But what I did, just like everything else, I pulled it back and I said, we're going to do one first. We're going to focus on the most profitable one. I said, we're going to run the campaign. We're going to test it. We're going to make sure it converts. And then we're going to move to the next one. We're going to do that on 5 or 6 of these. And then after we've done all that, we're going to look at which ones are the most profitable. And then we're going to decide how to build your website around that. So basically, we're going to be building their entire corporate business website based around knowledge, not guesswork. They might get into this and decide, hey, one of these segments doesn't even make sense. So it will not go into the website project. They came to me originally, they wanted to completely rebuild their website. And I said, whoa, whoa, whoa. Let's put the brakes on. Let's figure out what you need first. You need marketing campaigns, not a website. Let's build those first and then figure out what works, and then we'll build the website around that. Then you'll have a long-term solution. It might take you a little bit longer to get there, but it's going to work better and you're going to spend less in the long run.
So do they have a funnel?
That's what we're creating. We're creating basically 5 different funnels, figuring out which ones work best and then creating the website out of that. So the website will be segregated into those 5 channels.
So it's for one funnel, if they have 4 pieces to it, like a webinar or a fill in the blank sheet, information sheet, for each one of those segments, there's a landing page for each one?
Yeah, now with these guys, it's a little different because their market is different. All they're looking to do is get somebody on the phone with a salesperson.
Oh.
They already have a sales back end. They don't need education. All they need is leads for their salespeople. So the whole purpose of this funnel is to grab attention, get them hooked, and get them on the phone for an appointment. So it's a different type of funnel.
Mm-hmm.
It's not an education-based marketing funnel. It's not going to be where we're going to try and make a sale online, because people don't buy this stuff online.
Okay.
They find it. They find it, they research it, and they get hooked online, but they do not make the purchase online. It's basically big equipment stuff. So anyway, we need to get them on the phone with the salesperson. So the entire funnel is going to be based around grabbing their attention, giving them a reason to schedule an appointment. So it's lead generation. It's pure lead generation. So for you guys, what you want to do to get ready to use the Steelhouse platform is basically grab your most profitable niche, your most profitable market, figure out an upfront attention grabber, figure out what you can give them to get them onto your mailing list, and put the Steelhouse pixel on that so you can retarget them. So beyond getting them on your mailing list, next you want to take them to your education-based marketing system for most of you. Because most of you are trying to make online sales. So to make online sales and automate that process, you have an attention grab, you have creating demand and desire, which that's your educational piece, and then you have your offer, you have your sales page. So in the process of that, you want to get them on your mailing list for follow-up, and you also want to retarget them for follow-up until the sale is made. So pretty simple stuff. Easier said than done, though. I will give you that. I got a few head nods on that one. Oh man, this wind is killing me. The air is dry and nasty.
So does the program kind of create its own look-alike audience kind of thing, John? If you're
Yes.
So you don't
Yeah.
have to create the audience with this. It's yourself. You just let it go.
Yeah, it has an artificial intelligence in it to do that. You know, the more that you can give it, the faster it'll get there. Like if you already have a lookalike audience and you can give it that information, then it will actually get there faster. But the
So what do you put the
system,
information in?
the system is built to actually do that. What you'll get is when you get signed up, you'll be assigned a rep from Steelhouse,
Oh,
and they can actually help you with more advanced stuff like that. Because what they want to do, even in the Premier version, when they bring on the smaller guys, they want to turn you into the big guys. That's their whole goal in life, and they have the vehicle to do it. So they have a really, really superb team to help you do that. So really cool stuff. And they actually have the rep that is assigned to me on the Premier platform. They actually gave me two. And one of them is just to get you up and running, and the other one is a conversion expert. And she was going into the lookalike audiences and showing me how to do that. But if you don't have a lookalike audience, that's what Steelhouse is going to do. It's going to create that for you. The more budget you give it, the faster it's going to do it. Because it needs, the more information it gets, the faster it gets smart. It's artificial intelligence. So it's going to grow at whatever rate it is fed. The more information you can feed it, the faster it's going to grow its knowledge base, and the faster it's going to figure out how to make you more sales faster and cheaper. So pretty cool. I mean, we're basically getting access to the same type of technology that Google is using to figure out who should be at the top. We're using it to figure out who is our most ideal client. And I don't know about you guys, but I hate analyzing stats and trying to figure stuff out on my own and interpreting the data and all of that stuff. And that's what this thing's doing, and it's been programmed by some absolutely brilliant people, and they're doing the math for us. So for those of you that don't like math and stats and analysis, this is definitely for you. So
Good job, John.
that's cool. I've never seen so many smiling faces, Sarah. That's I think we got a good one here.
Hey, John, I know you didn't lose Tommy, but he moved on to greener pastures. Are you looking to get somebody, another techie person, or?
I haven't really made that decision yet. He's actually going and starting his own businesses, so hopefully he's going to be using ACT.
Right.
Yeah. I think he wants the 100,000 gold bar.
Uh-oh, I better get moving.
You guys might have some competition.
I'm sure we will.
So yeah, he's got two startups he's getting into. So that's pretty cool.
Are they both techie?
Actually, no.
Okay.
Yeah, they're more entertainment based.
Okay.
He's one of them. He's hopping on a new craze that I don't know if you guys have heard of it, but it's maze rooms. It's like a entertainment. I know you've probably heard of paintball.
Mm-hmm.
Where you go to a facility and you like have these paintball wars and stuff. It's similar to that, but it's like you're in a maze and you've got to figure out how to get through. So it's like a new thing that kids are into.
Cool.
Is
there anything we'll need to do or jump in and help with to kind of help fill Tommy's spot, or do you have it covered? Or
yeah, I've got. I'm actually realigning some of the stuff that he was covering. We're actually going to be cutting out. So we're not probably not going to have that big a hole, but like web development, all the web development stuff, I'm probably just going to be farming out. We probably won't be doing web development in-house anymore. We've killed off the Miva, so we're not doing Miva hosting. I lost a couple of clients. I actually had to fire a few clients that were on that platform that I've had for 20 years. But when I look at overall, getting rid of those clients, I'm actually going to make more money. When I look at the costs associated with supplying that service, getting rid of it, I'm going to become more profitable. So again, I started this process of realigning a few months ago, of how we're going to prepare and go into 2018. And that was one of the decisions I made, is what am I going to cut? What's taking time and not making money? And, if it says, if it takes saying goodbye to some very old clients that I've held dear for many, many years, then it's a business decision. I can offer them other services, but not those services. So always look at your business deals logically versus emotionally. My emotion has held me on to that for probably 5 years longer than I should have. I should have cut that whole division 5 years ago. But, it was the emotion that held me on to it, not my head. It was my heart. So you got to do things business-wise. If you're going to run a business and you're going to be profitable, I've got so many other divisions that it never really hurt me, because I've got other income streams and other things running. So it allowed me that luxury to keep providing for those clients. But a lot of times you're not in that situation. So it's, you're cutting them sooner rather than later. But always look at, everything with the whole thing of, am I going to automate it, delegate it, or eliminate it? So I'm either going to, all the processes that he was doing, I'm either going to automate them, delegate them, or eliminate them. So in answer to your question, Gwen, if you were looking for things to pick up, and I get to that, and I'm going to delegate some things, so I will let you know.
Yeah, I wasn't really looking to pick anything up, but I just didn't want any holes, anything to fall through the cracks. So I was willing to pick it up if it needed to.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, I'll let you know when we get to that. Some of the reporting and stuff, I'm going to automate some of that stuff. I am also looking at possibly bringing on a customer service person that would kind of handle that bridge as well.
Awesome. Yeah, the reporting was part of my concern.
Yeah. That will probably go more to a customer service person.
Okay.
Because, he was doing that stuff, but that's not a techie thing. That's more customer service related. So we don't need a techie to handle that piece.
Okay, sounds good.
And you still have the ultimate techie here behind the wheel. So I can generally figure most things out.
We just know you don't want to work that hard.
That is true. But, for you guys, I'll go above and beyond. So, all right. Any other questions, concerns? Any place you're stuck or need help or? No.
If nobody else jumps in, I'm still considering doing a live event up here and trying to figure out how and when to start planning that.
Okay. Definitely after the first of the year.
Oh yeah, I was thinking more like February, March, or maybe even later, because I want to build it up some.
Yeah, a lot of the guys in internet marketing, they years back they wanted to do everything in January, and over the years I've seen that be pushed out further and further. Like if you take traffic and conversion, for instance, they always did it like the second, third week in January. The marketers cruise always did it first, second, third week in January. And they would always make sure they didn't do it at the same time. Like, you didn't want the marketers cruise, you didn't want your customers to have to choose which one they wanted to go to if they wanted to go to both. So, but what I've noticed, the marketers cruise now is pushed out to the end of January, and traffic and conversion was pushed out into February, and I see this year, I think it's even in March. So the beginning of the year, a lot of times people are juiced up and they want to go, so sales opportunities are very high. So I wouldn't go too far out, but probably anywhere from, and also look at who you're doing it for. If you're not doing it for the internet marketing community, you don't have to worry about conflicting dates. If you're doing it for small business owners, I would say January is probably a great time, especially, you know, toward the end of January. I would say if you can move that fast and promote and get that thing cooking, I would probably try and shoot for that. If not January, then, you know, February.
Yeah, I don't know if I can get my act together enough to get January.
If you're doing February and you want me to come out for it, just keep in mind that I do the winter blast in February, and that's going to be, it's President's Day weekend whenever that winds up. I think it's the 19th, the weekend of the 17th, 18th, 19th, something like that. Let me look at the calendar here.
I'm going to head out, everybody. Have a great week. See you next Thursday.
16th through the 19th. All right. So yeah, just keep that in mind. If you need my participation there, I'll be gone that time.
Okay, thank
Other
you.
than that, before or after, I'm up for it.
Okay. Thank you very much. We'll see what we can pull together.
All right, sounds good. All right, everybody, we'll have a great week. We'll be back on next week and be moving forward. So
Awesome subject, John. Thanks.
have fun getting ready for Christmas.